family. How are you today? I hope that everybody is doing well and that you guys are surviving the change of this temperature. Kim,
Yes.
is it hot enough for you outside yet?
It is hot enough for me.
Guys, listen. You may notice that you see only myself and Kim in the studio today. It's because we are having a family affair. We can call it a family affair.
We are.
And we are still getting on the bus. And we've got two special guests that are coming in today. And we're gonna tell you a little bit about why it's a family affair in just a minute. But I want to introduce my first special guest. Her name is Lindrell Downs. Hey, Lynn, let's give her a
Hey,
hand.
Lynn. Hey, Lynn.
Hey, how you
And
guys doing?
introduce yourself and tell us how you know us.
Well, my name is Lindrell Downs. Everybody calls me Lynn, and Kim and Crystal are my first cousins.
Yay.
They're yes, yes. My
Yay!
dad is their mother's brother, so
Yes.
yes, we're first cousins.
Yes, we
Yes.
are first cousins.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And we are all, well, now Lynn is transplanted, but we are all now Houstonians.
Yes.
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 Absolutely. Lynn,
Mhm.
Lynn, how long have you been in Houston now?
Let's see, Gina's 30. She was born 20
How many years?
26, 26 years now, but I'm originally from California.
Yes.
Yes.
Moved out here 26 years ago.
Mhm.
And
So,
and you couldn't wait to get here, right?
That's right.
okay. Well, I did go to Prairie View. So I'm
V.
a preacher. So I'm a PVU graduate. So that makes a big difference. I knew if I
Yes.
was going to go anywhere, I was coming back to Houston.
That's absolutely right. And not only are you a Prairie View graduate, but no, your dad is not Prairie View. Where is he, Bishop?
Bishop.
He was Bishop. He
He
was
is Bishop.
Bishop.
He
Mhm.
was Bishop, but he is a transplanted Texan too. He moved to California from Texas. So we
Mhm.
are all definitely from Texas. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
the reason that we are here today is because we are still making sure that you ladies have the opportunity to get on the bus. And Kim, by get on the bus, what do we mean?
We mean register to have a mammogram
What kind of
with
mammogram?
a free
Yes.
mammogram. If you
Yes.
qualify, got to read the fine print.
Yes.
Qualify. Free mammogram. And this is sponsored by the Rose. And
And who else?
the Rose and the Higher Way Church.
Yay, higher
The
way.
Higher
Yes.
Way Church, Jones Memorial, the Higher Way Methodist Church.
And Texas Southern University.
And that's going to be another one.
Yes.
Mhm. Now, but right now it's the Rose Bus, and with Higher Way Church, Crystal and I are with the Higher Way Health and Wellness Ministry, and our objective is to bring bring different services to the community, health related services,
Yes.
so that we can have community outreach, help our
Yes.
communities get healthier. And when it comes to mammograms, help our communities as far as prevention.
Right.
So mammograms are
And
very
early
important.
detection.
Early detection,
Yes.
prevention, early detection.
That's right.
We want people to know that that breast cancer does not have to be a sentence.
That's right. And Lynn, with that in mind, tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about yourself. We know that you grew up in California and you migrated to Texas at some point. But let me ask you this. We know this, but the people who are watching are not going to know this. But was breast health and breast health awareness always of great importance in your family? How did you become aware of the importance of breast health?
Well, um, my mother had breast cancer.
Okay, and when was this?
And I found out she found out when I was 18 before I went to Prairie View.
Okay,
Um, and she wasn't one of those who went to the doctors and all that kind of stuff. When she found out she had breast cancer, she basically thought she had a boil underneath her arm,
oh
and that was
wow,
it.
okay,
And when they found out it was stage 4 in her lymph nodes, and
okay,
it spread. So breast cancer awareness was very important to me because it took her out within a year. after
Yes.
chemo. She only had it for a year and she suffered.
Okay.
So since I was about 32, I've been getting my mammograms and ultrasounds. I have
Great.
very dense breasts.
Yes.
Um, my my doctors let me start early.
Exactly.
Normally, they don't let you start until you're 30. Well, the recommended time is actually starting when you're 40 years old. So I
Right.
started about 32.
Okay.
And number one of the reasons I started at 32 is I had my children. And one of the things they say about breast cancer prevention to help you not get breast cancer is breastfeeding.
Right.
I didn't know that, but I was told that because my mom had breast cancer. So I
Right.
breastfed all three of my kids, and I had my last one at 32. And
Okay.
that's when I started doing my mammograms.
Excellent.
And when I was about 35, 37, I started getting ultrasounds on top of the mammograms.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
So
I have a question for
Okay,
Lynn.
hang on. Before
Mhm.
we do that,
Oh,
I see that Gisette has popped in. Now, Gisette,
hello.
I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Can you turn your phone horizontal? Can you turn your phone horizontally?
Oh,
And not,
sure.
yeah, turn it horizontally.
Yes.
There
Can
you
you?
go.
There
There
we
you go.
go.
Yes.
Okay.
There.
Can see you a whole lot better. But
Mhm.
Gisette, why don't you, before Lynn goes on and kind of finishes up telling us her story, kind of tell us and our audience
Introduce
who's going to
yourself.
be watching,
Mhm.
tell us how you know myself and Kim.
Well, you beautiful ladies are my cousins, and
Which
I
cousins?
am of which I am so proud of.
We're your
And
first cousins.
your your my first cousin because your mom and my daddy are brother and sister.
All
Yes.
right.
now,
We
So,
want everybody to know that we've got a whole podcast of first
first
cousins,
cousin podcast.
a first cousin podcast.
First
Yes.
cousin podcast.
And what we're gonna have you
Hello, everybody.
hey,
Hey.
what we're gonna have you do in just a second, just
a
that
minute.
it's kind of recount your story of how you got to where you became a breast cancer survivor. But what Lynn is doing right now is kind of giving us a background or a backstory on how she became breast health
Mhm.
aware.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Well,
I had a
Yes.
question.
Okay.
Now, with were there other women in your family who also
yes.
had?
Uh, um,
Okay. Hmm.
yes. On my mother's side, after my mother was diagnosed, my aunt on my mother's side actually ended up with breast cancer, and she died like 4 months after my mom. So we
Wow.
knew it was something in the family on that side. And
Yeah.
then I have a first cousin on my mom's side. She had it, but she found out late. They didn't go to the doctor. I've always been a person. I don't. I go to the doctor. I'm just one of those people. Okay, she didn't go to the doctor, and she found out late, and she didn't have any of the chemo. By the time they started, it was already all over her body, and she had
Right.
passed away. And then I have a younger cousin. She's a second cousin on my mom's side.
Yes.
She had it. She had uterine cancer and breast cancer, but she found
Okay.
out early. She found out when she was pregnant. She was 21.
Wow. Yeah.
She
Ooh.
ended up having the baby, but she's a survivor. Her son is now 8, so she's 8-year survivor.
Mhm.
But
Great.
she found out young while she was
Early.
pregnant. So it's prevalent on my mom's side of the
Yes.
family. So
Mhm.
I've been very well. I kept keep up on it. And when I was like in my 30s and I came out here into Houston, I
Mhm.
was like 42. I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they knew my history. They actually wanted me to get a double mastectomy at that time, but I said I don't have anything. I ain't gonna do that. I come get my mammograms every year, but
Right.
I didn't do it then.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
so
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
what about
so
you?
that's
Because
go
of your
on.
history, because of your history, Lynn, do you? I know that you have two daughters.
mhm.
So
Yes.
what do you
Well,
recommend as far as your daughters are concerned?
I recommend not only my daughters. I also have a son. Okay,
Yes,
you forget men do have breast tissue.
that's right.
And people don't, they always think it's about women, but
Mhm.
men do have breast tissue.
Right.
And so they actually, my youngest is 30 and she is about to have her first mammogram.
Great.
Mhm.
That's
um
great.
So and my oldest have already had a couple already, and
Mhm.
I've talked to my son to have them just check because men do get breast, they can get breast cancer,
Right.
Mhm.
and so that's something that I know couple of men that have had breast cancer.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
that's is something that happens. So I'm making sure that my kids are aware and and just take care. Don't be scared to go to the doctor. That's the
Mhm.
main thing.
Mhm.
Don't be scared
Right.
to go to the doctor because
Now, then, let me jump in here with the question: is the genetic component, is the
The
BRCA
BRCA
gene
gene.
what the genetic component that you had, or is it something different?
I don't have any of the genes. I don't have any genetic.
Wow.
I didn't have none of the genetic traits or anything. They've done all the genetic testing on me. My girls have had their genetic testing. We don't have the traits.
Right.
Okay.
Um, my cancer is because of hormones.
Yeah, you were telling me about
So
that.
it's a
Yeah.
little bit different. I had I I mean I don't have no problem. I'm 62 years old, okay?
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And being 62 and at 61, I'm one of those women that was still very had her period and everything. My
Wow.
estrogen level was very high that I didn't go through menopause or anything else.
Yeah.
They found out my estrogen levels what caused my cancer.
Wow.
So
I
that
asked
was a little bit different.
wow.
And how I found my cancer is not through a mammogram nor ultrasound. So, like I said, I'm one of those women that actually goes to the doctor.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
because of my age, they were checking, I was just having a regular checkup,
Yeah.
make sure I don't have any blood clots and all that, and had a ultrasound, well, CAT scan with contrast. And I had my mammogram the month before and ultrasound the month before, had the contrast the next month, and the radiologist came up and said, called my doctor and said, have her go back to and get a biopsy. She got a
Mhm.
massive
It's too.
veins in
Yeah. Yeah.
my right breast to check that area, see what's going on. When they did it, it was cancer. So that's how
Okay.
I found my cancer.
Right.
Wow.
Well,
So it,
I'm gonna jump in really, really quick. I'm gonna jump in really quickly, Lynn, because right at this point, I want to kind of get you and Cookie to the same place, so
Mhm.
that
mhm.
we can ask some questions that I want to ask
Mhm.
both of you. But just set,
Sidebar,
yeah, we
we
called you
call
set
J
Cookie.
Cookie. So sidebar. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Get out of
people are
that.
probably going, "What is she
Who?
talking about? Who is
Who's
Cookie?"
Cookie? Mhm.
So just set. Can you kind of give us a little bit of history about whether or not breast health was something that was commonly discussed in your family? Was that something that came up all the time, or when did you kind of start um, being really aware of this? Because I know that you have a daughter too.
Mhm.
Yes. Um, I had the only awareness I had was just the knowledge from my doctor and from society
Right.
to get a mammogram after you get 40 every year.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
that's what I have been doing ever since I turned 40. I'm 69 years old. So
Right.
I've been getting mammograms for a good while, and they've all
Okay.
been normal. And in fact, breast cancer was the farthest from my mind
Wow.
because
No.
breast cancer is not in my immediate family.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, I know even though Lynn and I are cousins,
Right.
we are only cousins through her father. Her father and my dad were brothers.
Right.
Mhm.
So um, it's not through her mother. In other words, I don't
Uh-huh.
Right.
have her mother's traits
Right.
Right. The
because
maternal.
it would be because my dad was her dad's brother. So
Mhm.
Exactly.
in short, no, I had no idea, none of that. In fact, heart disease is definitely in my family, and that is what
You were
was
concerned with
always on my mind. Of
yeah.
course,
Mhm.
my mother died of heart disease. My father died of heart disease. So I figured if I was gonna go, it'd probably be through and
And
breast cancer was farthest from my mind.
Mm-hmm.
and you know
And
the
it wasn't until I go ahead.
oh no, I was going to say
It
you
wasn't
said
until I took. Mhm.
Oh, you
you're
breaking up.
breaking up a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
I
Yeah.
hear you now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it wasn't until this summer when I had my normal mammogram and it came up abnormal and it just went from there and they said, well, we need you to come back and we need to look at something else. And
Mm-hmm.
that even that did not make me scared or aware of anything. 'Cause I just figured I said, well, I got dense breasts
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
I've always been told I have dense breasts. And
Right.
I figured they just need another picture, and it's no big deal. And I
Right.
Mm-hmm.
had no inkling of it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I wanted to be on this show today to let women know that it doesn't matter whether it's in your family or not,
Yes.
because I have been told that my cancer was due to environmental toxicity.
Wow.
Really?
Yes,
Like what do
my
you
cancer, the kind of cancer that I have had was um was formed through outside interference, outside environmental chemicals, things like benzene and the air we breathe and uh, carcinogens.
Oh, I have questions.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
questions too.
Yeah.
Cookie, let me ask you this. Now, you have lived in some areas where there have been refineries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Wow.
I lived at least let's see how long 90 from 93 and we didn't move until 2006, so 20 years I
Mm-hmm.
lived in Beaumont, Texas, which is one of the most toxic places to
Wow.
live because of all of the refineries that are
Right.
adjacent to each other in
Right.
Wow.
that county. And
Okay.
I even say sometimes I feel like that it could have been through a cell phone because I remember when cell phones first came out.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to I remember when they first came out. Every I remember seeing a lot of women and me. We would close them back up, flip the flip phone, close them back up, and stick it in our breast
In your bra.
In your
Yeah.
bra. You're right.
and my
Now
bra,
you're doing
and
this.
my bra, and I never stuck it in the left one. It was always the right one because I'm left-handed. And it
Wow.
was
Mm-hmm.
always, and I would always stick it over to the right corner where the cancer formed. And
Mm.
I can't swear. And I even asked my doctor. I asked my doctor. I said, "Do you think that's the reason why? One of the reasons why I got this cancer?" He said, "Well, Miss Simmons, I can't say no.
Right.
I can't. I can't prove it that that's not true because it could be. But
Mm.
the kind of cancer that you have is formed from the outside forces, outside air, outside benzene and chemicals that we breathe every day. Everybody does.
So, Cookie, let me say this to you and Lynn. You both said something that was very interesting, and let me tell you what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you, Cookie, you said that you started. Just that you said that you started getting your mammograms at 40 and you've
Mm-hmm.
been diligent about getting your mammograms.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn said that she started getting hers at 30 or
Mm-hmm.
32 and
Mm-hmm.
she's been diligent.
Right.
One thing that Miss Yeoman said when she came on from the Kelsey Siebold Breast Clinic a
Mm-hmm.
couple of weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
is that
Mm-hmm.
have to continue to get your mammograms because we
Right.
don't know that environmental factors don't change.
Right.
We don't know exactly what it is causing it. So if you miss a year or skip a year,
Mm-hmm.
then that could be
Mm-hmm.
you in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
that year skipped, but you
Mm-hmm.
all were so diligent that when you started getting yours, you
Mm-hmm.
continued to get it, and you
Mm-hmm.
were diagnosed at 68 years old.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Cookie?
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Lynn? You were diagnosed
Yeah,
at
I was. That's right.
I
I
I
okay.
was
found out that
68 years old, and
Yeah,
you 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 just never know, and you have to keep up this opportunity that you are offering women in the
Mhm.
Harris County area is so
right.
important. I
yes.
urge every woman. You you know how people say when you go to church, you always want to give an offering because you can't afford not to give back to God because He's been
Right.
so good. You can't
Mhm.
afford not to get this test. You
Right.
Right.
can't afford
Right.
not. You can't afford not to get a mammogram every year after,
Right.
especially after 40 or 40
Abs-
after. Sometimes I would say starting at 30 because black
mhm.
women
Mhm.
die more
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
than any other race ever.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Mhm.
I behoove it upon every black woman that hears my voice to urge
Mhm.
you to go get this free mammogram. Get what
Yeah.
these
Yes.
people are offering. Get a
Mhm.
mammogram
Yes.
because
Well,
Yes.
that. Mhm.
it saved my life. It saved my
Yeah.
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Crystal, bring back up the flyer. Now that gives us an opportunity to speak a little bit more about get on the bus. Now we're
Yes.
saying the bus is the Rose breast cancer, it's the breast cancer mobile unit, but it's to us,
Yes.
it's the bus.
Yeah. We call
It's
it the
we're
bus.
getting on the bus. And right now we're halfway full on the bus.
Mhm.
27 spots.
That's
We're
right.
halfway full. We have 13 spots. We are 13 right now. We have 14 spots left. And there is a deadline.
That's right.
There's a deadline. The deadline is May 22nd to register. Now, I am encouraging everybody to go ahead and register because when you register, the wonderful people from the Rose will give you a call to
Yes.
make sure that you meet their guidelines and
Yes.
that you are qualified.
That's right.
Because
We don't want you showing up
yeah,
and you're
it's not
not
a walk on. It's
that's
not a
right.
walk
You
on.
have to register, and
Yeah.
they will make sure that they get every tell you everything that you need
Yes.
to prepare for your
Mhm.
appointment. And
Mhm.
what's one thing that we're doing, Kim, to sweeten the deal on
We're
this?
sweetening the deal. We're making sure that people come on out and get on the bus, and we're doing that by our ministry donating a gift card.
How
Now,
much?
this is $100 gift card. Now we're donating because everybody who is a registered participant who actually gets their mammogram will be entered
Yes.
to win the $100 gift card that is being sponsored by the Higher Way Health and Wellness Ministry.
And the thing about it is, Kim, it's a Visa gift card.
It's
So
a
you can
Visa
spend
gift
it. You
card.
can spend it anywhere. You can spend it for groceries. You can go to Victoria's Secret and get
Mhm.
yourself something cute.
That's right.
You can take someone special out to dinner or take your family out to eat at
That's
a
right.
reasonable restaurant. You used to be able to do a nice one for $100, but you can still take one person out to a
Well,
pretty nice
where I
restaurant.
eat, you can still do it for
That's
100.
right.
I'm just saying.
That's but we want to throw this out. We want to throw this out there. Just said you said something that was so important, and that is that this test saved your life.
Hmm.
Why do you all, both ladies? I want to ask you this. Why do you think you? To me, I felt like getting 27 people on that bus would be the easiest task, but we have still people who
Mhm.
have fear
Fear.
and reluctance of getting on that bus and getting tested. And
Hmm.
we're not, when we talk about getting your mammogram, we're not talking about anybody prodding and poking at you with
Hmm.
needles and things
Yes.
like that.
Hmm.
That's not,
Hmm.
it's not an
Mhm.
Yeah. It
experience.
well, it's it's a little uncomfortable, but it's not scary and it doesn't hurt. It's just a little
Mm-mm.
You
uncomfortable.
can hold some positions for a
Yeah.
minute. That's
Yeah. And
all.
you got to squeeze a boob.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Squeeze your boobs.
Why do you ladies think
That's
that it,
all it is.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think it's just a fear of, especially in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fear of going to the doctor. And a mammogram, that's like, I could go, I may have it. I don't want to know about it.
Well,
I
Yeah.
don't want to know this.
and
That's
why
a
am
lot of it.
I interested?
It's just that fear. I don't want to know about it. I know when I found out I had cancer, I know everybody thought I was crazy.
Mhm.
I wasn't upset. I didn't, you guys know me. I was still
You
me
were, at
acting
least I
crazy.
know. At least I
I
know
was happy.
what I got to do. That's
Right.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got to do this. I have to go through what I got to go through. I had, me and
Mhm.
Cookie was totally different in how our treatments were.
Right.
Mine was a little bit more invasive. I had 6 months of chemo.
Hmm.
I had double mastectomy, so I had both of them removed and reconstruction. I'm still in
Hmm.
that process, and then I had to go for 6 weeks of radiation.
Okay.
And
It's
I,
double sure that
Hmm.
yours
yeah,
did not reoccur. And
Hmm.
yours was caught early. But
yeah, and
let,
I'm a stage 2,
Yeah.
so I was very early, and then I've already had
Oh
my
no.
'cause
Oh no.
what's
I
the
can't get mammograms no more. I still have to get checked, but I
uh,
don't get mammograms. I have to go
okay,
through it right now. I've already had my first scan, which is I
right,
have to have a CAT scan with imaging with the
okay,
iodine. So I
okay,
have to have that
wow,
um, every year. So it's still like a mammogram because I don't have any breast tissue anymore.
Okay. Now I
So
have a question, Lynn. Okay. Now
mhm.
I know a lot of times women are feel like their femininity is connected to their breasts. And that is what has kept a lot of women from going to get a mammogram, because if they get a mammogram, then something might be wrong. And then yeah, and
yeah,
then if I have to, lose my breast, my husband will be upset, that kind of thing.
no,
No, no,
no,
no, no, no. Let me say this.
yeah,
That was
But
very prevalent in the past. I'm glad a lot of that has changed, but I
you're
know
right,
some of those ideas are still there. I remember Nancy Reagan
right,
when her husband Ronald Reagan was in office. She had breast cancer
yes,
and she had to get a mastectomy.
right,
And after that, she said her husband never saw her naked. Okay,
or
mm,
this
without, yeah, without a top, yeah.
without it. That's right. And these people had been married for I don't know how
So
long.
she felt embarrassed
She
about,
felt embarrassed about it.
well,
So you know,
I've
hey,
had a double mastectomy.
uh-huh,
yes,
I got
yeah.
my boobs
yeah,
here.
Now when you say,
Everything.
what does that mean?
I got my boobs here. I'm not done yet though.
Okay,
right,
But so I've had a double mastectomy. It got so many different ways to
that's
actually reconstruct your breast.
that's
They
right,
mhm,
have implants where you get implants.
mhm,
The um a what they call a
flap
deep
surgery,
flap, which they use your stomach your stomach fat, and it
yeah,
becomes your boobs because that's all it is
right,
fat, and reshape them into your boobs.
yeah,
And
mhm.
I always made joke about it. I said, oh girl, I can't wait. I got my cancer now, I can get my tummy tucked. That's
Okay,
how I you know
okay. So
it's
you have like
but
a Brazilian boob
it's
lift. Is that what you kind of,
but basically, they're gonna take my stomach in September. It's not and I'm not a really big woman or whatever, but
right,
right?
I do have from having kids. You got that belly that comes with
yeah,
it. Well, they'll take that fat from your belly,
Mhm,
cut it like a tummy tuck from your hips to hips. So they
mhm.
take all that fat, reconstruct one side for one breast, the other side for the other breast, and give you the breast that you want.
Wow.
I can get what I want. And they construct, and they're like real. They feel like real thing. It's nothing, and they look the same. And it's using your own skin, your
Mhm.
own body. So
Lem-
I'm choosing. I haven't figured out which one I'm gonna get, but
uh-huh,
it's I have that option. It's like, I make joke about it, but I have
Right.
the option to go that
right.
route.
Right.
And Lynn, the thing about it is, these days, I would like for you to reiterate to people how many options there are that weren't even around as far as treatment and as far as reconstruction
Mhm,
now than there were even 10 years ago.
mhm.
Well, I can remember when my mother. I can go back like I said, I was 19 when everything
Right,
happened. I remember when she had a double mastectomy,
right,
Mhm.
and that's what my radiation, the chemo, I wasn't scared of, but radiation and something because they actually burnt my mother. I mean, she was burnt.
it was
So
very
this
it was
Wow.
very
it was
primitive
bad.
radiation.
It was
Right,
very like so I was scared before I had my radiation. Like they had to. really talked to me about it, what they do and how they do it. And it wasn't bad, you know. Um, and the treatments, like I said, my treatment was like with Cookie. She didn't have any chemo. All she had was radiation and a lumpectomy.
Yeah,
I chose to have double. I had my cancer was on my right
that's
side.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to have a double because I didn't want to have to go through this again
Right.
Yeah,
personally. Just
yeah,
That
listen,
was
absolutely.
so, that was
Because
listen.
smart.
you do hear breast cancer is recurring.
That's right.
You
And,
do hear.
and when they did find out, they did take this one, and the chemo had killed all the cancer cells. And
Right.
I got my pathology report. They killed all the cancer cells that was in my right breast.
Uh
They
huh.
took 3 lymph nodes from underneath my arm. I only had one lymph node that had cancer, but they
Right.
wanted to take the ones around it. They didn't see no
That's
cancer even in that lymph node, so they took
Mm-hmm.
two around it.
okay.
And then when they took off the left breast, they saw something was going to form on the left side,
Mm.
and they told me about it. So there was like, I'm glad that you actually took both breasts.
That's right.
Right.
So
Yes.
Well, let me
I
ask you a little
think
bit. Mhm. Go ahead, Lynn.
on, and I had a great team. I
Hmm.
everybody always say, you know, I had a great team. One of the things, all three of my oncologists, my radiation oncologist,
Hmm.
and my surgeon, they worked as a team.
That's
Hmm.
great.
And one of the things that actually made me feel more comfortable, and maybe it's just me being a little biased, they were all they were all half black. So that made a difference in my mind because, you know, I'm dealing with somebody who is also black. They got that in them.
Right.
Yeah.
And my oncologist, when she told me, well, I'm not giving you the typical chemo.
Right.
I said, what? She thought I kind of switched it up a little bit for
Hmm.
you because, you know, we all bleed, we're all blood is red and all that kind of stuff, but we're black. We're a
That's
Right.
little bit different.
Yeah.
So our chemo should be a little bit stronger because we do have denser breasts. She
right.
tried to
Okay.
explain some things to me, that
Yeah.
reason why mine was a little bit different than they would give some, she would give
Someone
the
else.
regular protocol.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I said I was blessed in that aspect. I had a great team. And I think anybody that's going through this have to have a great team.
Right.
My PCP made a big difference. She's the one said, "You're 60, let's go do the CAT scan to check just to make sure you don't have a blood clot." How many
Very
doctors
much.
actually
Yeah.
do that these days? So
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate, and I'll be honest, I have Obamacare, Blue Cross Blue
Yeah.
Shield.
Yeah.
I've always said Obamacare
Girl,
is
Great
some of the
insurance.
best
Yeah.
insurance.
it's done
And
me good. So I
Mhm.
don't know what people talk about. You know,
I
you just
don't
got to
either.
know the
It's
right
always
plan.
been
well,
fantastic.
I think you had a question for
I
Lynn,
did have a
and then I
question.
have a question for Lynn too.
Okay, I have a question. Now,
Hmm.
I know a lot of times when people, have been presented this challenge, the first thing is, okay, I want to make sure I'm healthy, my life is saved, I am healthy, I'm going to ring that bell. But I know after all of that is done, I know people think, you know what? Okay, aesthetics, and as you were saying, they can go in and reconstruct your breasts
Hmm.
to the way you want them to look, and
Hmm.
then you have a tummy tuck with it, so now you have a bikini body. What about like nipple area? Is it, let's
Well,
just say if someone
after
is
that, I
thinking
might
about,
have.
okay, intimacy, what, when my husband or partner sees me, what will they see?
Okay, when I first get the breast done, I will not have nipples. To be
Right.
honest,
Mhm.
that first year will not have nipples.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Then they will actually create a nipple. It's a 3-man point. Bring it out, and they tattoo your areola.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so which is fine. I
Hmm.
have feeling in my breast.
Right.
I mean,
Hmm.
this I have feeling all over my breast. It's
Good.
nothing numb. I
Hmm.
have feeling. I'm gonna have feeling in my breast when they put, because I have feeling in my stomach.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's same nerves. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna have those feelings. They're gonna look like regular breasts. I mean, unless, somebody gonna examine you and look underneath your your
Right.
boobs and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
As you can see, I mean, I was doing during when I had my chemo, I was bald. I
Mhm.
didn't care though. I was kind of like, man, I'm gonna rock this ball. I didn't get wigs or anything else. I rocked it.
Right.
Everybody,
Yeah, you
you know, so
rocked it.
I rock my bald head.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
didn't have no eyebrows. I learned how
mhm,
to do eyebrows.
mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, hair. I lost all my hair, so it's kind of like cool. It's come back. I like what it came back as.
That's
So,
right.
Right. So you
Let
feel
I've
me
learned how.
comfortable in front of a partner.
Huh?
You feel
What's
comfortable if you were with a partner. You feel comfortable, and I know that is what is in a lot of
Oh
women.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that but as you guys know me, I'm like very upfront. I have had breast cancer. These things ain't real, but they feel real. So let's have fun.
okay.
Come
Let
on.
me
That's
ask.
just me. That's just
Let me
me. Okay.
jump in and ask you this, Lynn. Let me jump in and ask you this. Now, as first cousins, and Jessette, hopefully she'll come back in. I think she
Mhm.
had a little bit of a technical difficulty,
Yeah.
but
hmm
as first cousins, how have you and Jessette relied upon each other to brave the course of this adversity? Because basically, you guys were diagnosed very at a similar time, within a few months of each other. Um,
Well, I could say this much. When I first got diagnosed, and we have another cousin that's actually
yeah,
not on here. Her name is
right,
Fran.
right,
Yes.
Fran. And I called her and I called Uncle Sid, okay?
right,
Mhm.
And Uncle Sid is a radiologist. So
right,
I actually was very comfortable with talking to Uncle Sid and Fran. So when
right,
I started talking to them and finding out their story, and Fran is breast cancer free for like
Mhm.
7 years.
Yes.
right,
She's
right,
sorry, 7 years.
right.
Mhm.
So talking to them made me feel comfortable um Tinka called me and let me know about Cookie, what was
Right.
going on. Cookie was really upset. Really,
Yeah.
it caught her. And
Right.
I told her, I said, Girl, you early." I said,
Exactly.
I'm one of those with everything I do. I've gone through a lot. So,
Yeah.
you know, I always say God don't give me no more than I can handle.
That's right.
Right. Mhm.
And God gave this to me for a reason.
That's
Mhm.
right.
So, and that reason you never know.
Yeah.
And as I've been going through this and everything, talking to Cookie, sometimes she would have bad days. I'll call her, girl, what's going on? Da 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 da. Cookie is
Yeah.
singing her butt off. She has one of the best voices I know. I
Right.
said, no, it's giving you time to actually practice your singing, and you
That's
could do
right.
this, you could do this. I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to slow you down that you could do this.
Mhm.
Let's find that positive. I mean, that's just how I look at life and everything.
Mhm.
So
With me,
it,
Mhm.
with
is
me,
that the same? I'm sorry, Lynn. Go ahead.
yeah, and with me, it was what, as you see, I have on here, I'm founder of Cybersecurity Divas. I'm
Yes.
about helping people. So it actually empowered me to say, you know what, I do have a purpose. I know what I want to do. On top of letting everybody know
Mhm.
you can survive breast cancer, but it gave me more and powerful meaning to do what I want to do to help women in cyber, to let women know that you can move forward
Yeah.
in security, in cybersecurity, and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So it gave me more, it made me feel more empowered that my purpose in life is what is my divas and my passion. So,
That's right.
and then that's how I look at things. So, I try to find everything on the positive side. It could be the
Yes.
most negative thing
Absolutely.
around. It's something I gotta find something positive about it.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this:
Mhm.
what do you really think it's gonna take for women of color, African American women,
Mhm.
especially in the Houston community where we're concentrating on here, to begin taking a proactive approach to breast health, especially among younger women? Now, a lot of times with older women, you know, we came up in a time where we started learning about breast self exam in the shower and that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
now we hear mammograms, mammograms, mammograms,
Yeah.
and like you said, there's even um uh did you say a sonogram or ultrasound that you got?
I
There's
had mine was a
a
CAT
Cat
scan
scan.
with
Uh-huh.
contrast.
so there are many ways that you can get on top of the situation.
Mhm.
And like Miss Rosemary Yeoman said 2 weeks ago, she said the thing about it is, if caught early, it is a curable disease.
Mhm.
If caught early, it is curable, because there are treatments that have come into the forefront in the last 10 years that we didn't even have back then.
Right.
But
Mhm.
Right.
we still have younger women who are avoiding I mean, who are avoiding getting tested. What do you think it's going to take for younger women to get tested and come on? And Jay said, "Hey, she popped back
Hey,
in. Go
Cookie.
ahead and rotate your phone so it's
Oh,
horizontal.
Mhm.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
all right,
perfect.
all right.
Perfect. So
sorry, my phone went dead in the
Can we ask
car.
Cookie about her treatment?
no,
Oh, I
that's
got it. I
okay.
got you.
That's okay. Well, listen, Cookie. I just
Yes.
asked Lynn, but before Lynn answers that, I want you to be able to hear that question too. But can you kind of tell us a little bit about your course of treatment?
Yes.
Once you were diagnosed, what was the time that it took for you to start your treatments and to be finished with your treatments?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear us? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Okay, so the fact that
Yeah.
my cancer was caught early.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We
Oh,
can't
Oh,
hear
can
you.
you hear me?
Yes,
now.
and center yourself
Oh
on your
my. Let me see what's the matter.
okay.
That's
There
okay.
you go.
That's
There
better,
you
Cookie.
go.
That's
There you
better.
go.
You got, yeah, you have a little delay
Okay,
on your phone.
I
Yes.
apologize.
Okay, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
Okay, well, being that my cancer was caught early,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
which behooves you to go ahead and get that mammogram. Mine was
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
caught early enough to where I did not have to require chemotherapy, and I
Okay.
only needed a radiation, and my treatment plan
Oh, you're breaking up. Uh-huh.
was a lumpectomy, basically
Okay.
just going in the right breast, which it was only in the right breast, and removing the cancer, and then I'm sorry, then getting radiation. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hello,
you
It's still,
it's a delay. Are
that's
you
okay. Keep
yeah,
talking.
keep talking.
hello.
That's okay. Yes.
Yeah. Cookie, what stage were
Oh
you?
my, can you hear me now?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Cookie, what stage
Oh,
cancer did you have?
okay. Now my cancer was stage.
We're gonna try to let you come back in one more time. We're gonna try to let you come back in one more time. Lynn,
Hmm?
so what we were asking you is how would you encourage younger women to go ahead and begin and not have that fear, dispel that fear of going forward and starting to go ahead and get tested. I just heard last week that they are encouraging some women to, just like they did you, to start having mammograms even earlier.
Yeah. I think it's I think we just need to just keep talking about it
Yeah.
and keep putting it out there and to the colleges and Purview, Texas A&M, TSU, all that to get just talk about it in the community in the churches. Let them know it's not nothing to be fearful from.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know people who have had I was stage 2, so I'm early. I was
Yeah.
early. And I still went to chemo and everything else. Um, I know people who've had stage 4 and survived.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's that
That's
just because that's don't get scared of your stages.
yeah.
You got to know yourself. I mean, I never thought cancer was going to take me out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Exactly.
that was never in my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I want you to
um,
repeat that
I
one more time. Say
I
that.
never
That's important.
I never thought cancer was going to take me out.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was never in my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, so but like I said, my girls are getting treated. I mean, not getting treated, but they're going through the
The
process right
screening.
now. The screening,
Yeah.
and like I said, I had the opportunity. I think I was like 42 to have a double mastectomy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
and I chose not to because I didn't have it and I didn't have the trait.
Mhm.
So, but they were just going to do it because my mom had it. That's the only reason why
Exactly.
they were going to do it.
Okay, Cookie. When you after your treatment, what did you do after your treatment? Did you have to have any any sort of reconstruction, or did you? Well, is it just were you just
Were you just done?
done?
Oh no, I wasn't done.
Okay. You
I
can go
happily
ahead.
had I happily had a reduction. Can y'all hear me now?
We can hear you good, Cookie.
You
We can
actually
hear you
had,
good.
okay. Tell
We
us
can hear
about
you
that.
very well.
I am so happy that I had a reduction. Was able to get a reduction, and of course, Medicare paid for it all, and thank God, for that. And
Yes.
I'm so happy that she was able to do all of it at one time.
Yes. Now let me say
Yes,
this, and this is to both Lynn and Cookie. I don't know if I've ever seen people who have come through cancer treatments looking absolutely like stars. They
Yes.
looked fantastic. I saw y'all. I'm like, what? Y'all look amazing. You like you've lost 20 years.
Yeah.
What can you do? You know,
Wh-
so it was, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's nothing to be afraid of.
Attitude. That what you just
Attitude.
said
Yeah.
means that attitude
Attitude.
means
That's
so
right.
much.
yes,
Both of you,
Yeah.
both of you
Me and
decided
Cookie,
that this was not going to be any type of sentence for
Sentence.
you.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
would
no,
be
I know.
a hurdle that you just step over and keep going.
Keep it moving. Yeah. Hmm.
I could say
you
Cookie and
you
I, we
just you just
actually
step
talk to
over
each
it.
other. I think Cookie and I talk to each other at least once every 2 weeks about how you doing, girl? How what's going on? What's happening here? We kind of
Yeah,
kept each other encouraged and making sure that we were both okay.
Yeah.
Because we were going through it at the same time. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, "You're so lucky you don't have to go to this daggone chemo. See, she got a head full of hair. Look at me."
Well,
oh listen,
Cookie,
oh man,
I'm going to ask you what I asked Lynn. If you can, because we're coming up on where we've got about 10 minutes left. But if you
okay,
could, the real problem right now is still getting young women in our community to take this seriously and to know that first of all, it's not necessarily any type of sentence or a morbid sentence,
Hmm.
and that they
mm-mm,
need to take control of their breast health. That's just as important as getting up and eating right and showering and this is something
mhm.
that's very important to women. What do you think is stopping young women in our community from going forward and being proactive with this? And what would you tell them that would kind of dispel some of that reluctance that they have?
Well, I have a true faith in God that whatever He brings to you, He will take you through it.
Right.
Right. Hmm.
And I am not afraid because I want to live. I've got two beautiful little granddaughters and a
Hmm.
Yes.
step grandson that I
Hmm.
want to live and enjoy and have a quality of life.
That's right.
Hmm.
I don't want to just live. I want to live a great quality of life.
That's
And
right.
I would choose not. You choose things in your
That's
life to how you take things. I
that's right.
choose not. I choose not to allow cancer to stop me from the blessings that God has for me.
That's
Right.
right.
Hmm.
And Lynn and I were there for each other. There are always women that will be there with you. You're not going to be alone in this in this
Right.
in this journey,
Hmm.
and you will come out on the other side a stronger person. I
Yes.
am. I feel I'm so proud of myself and Lynn that we have conquered this, and I hope I'm helping someone that's listening. I pray that you will not allow fear
Yes.
to
Hmm.
Yes.
overcome what you need to do for yourself, but mostly for yourself and
Yeah.
Hmm.
for and for the life that you want to live with
That's
you and your family.
Hmm.
That is
that's
so
right.
And
true.
like I said, we can't afford not to. We can't afford not to get a mammogram every year.
Mm-hmm.
I just
That's
want to say, I just had my first clear mammogram since I had surgery,
wow.
and
That's
it was
awesome.
a wonderful feeling
Yes.
to get that information and then get that little notice in the mail from Memorial Hermann saying that
Yeah.
my mammogram was clear.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I tell
Mhm.
you, it's more than anything that
That's
if you just depend on God and He will take you through it.
Right.
okay. Before we go, ladies, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs. And let me tell you why I'm doing this, because I'm going to shout out some organizations that I want and some churches that I want to take a special note to get this information about getting on the bus out to their members. Of course, the Higher Way Church, Trinity East, and Trinity United Methodist Church. Pass this on to the ladies in your church. It's not just your members. The daughters, the aunts, uncles, I mean not uncles, but cousins of your
Mm-hmm. Baby uncles.
members,
Mm-hmm.
that you can pass this on to. Just because it may not be relative to you or that you've got your mammograms paid for, that doesn't mean that the person down the street or the person
Mm-hmm.
who you may be sitting next to or a
Mm-hmm.
relative may not need this information. We've got entrepreneurs that are out there who may be in between insurance. So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
have
Right.
insurance at a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't stop you from doing what you need to do to have your mammogram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to shout out to the Deltas in Houston. Deltas, if you know of someone who needs to have a mammogram, or you may just share the information with, they may
Mm-hmm.
have a family member or a sibling who needs it. The
Mm-hmm.
AKAs, the Zetas, the Sigma Gamma Rhos,
Divine
all
nines.
the Divine
Everybody.
Nine,
Divine nines. The
gentlemen,
fraternity.
Everybody.
men, you've got alphas, kappas, sigmas, and qs. You've got wives, you've got daughters,
Mm-hmm.
aunts and uncles, aunts and mothers that
Mm-hmm.
you need to pass this on to. I want to make sure that people, Carissa, the ladies who are a part of Lock,
Mm-hmm.
people from Pride 365, if
Mm-hmm.
you know that this is something that you can pass on to other people who may be interested or who may know others who need this, pass this information on.
Mm-hmm.
Cookie, can you tell us any organizations or churches that you want to shout this out to make sure?
Yes,
Yes,
I
go
want to
ahead.
shout out to the historic St. John on Emancipation, all the women
Yeah,
of the historic St. John, of where the Rev. Terrence Grant Malone is our pastor.
come
Come
on
on
out.
out. Bring somebody with you. Get this word out in Third Ward. All of
Yeah,
Third Ward. Women of Third Ward, Fourth
yeah,
Ward, Fifth Ward. Every ward there is.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
right.
And you all, let me go ahead and let you know this. Crystal, go ahead and put the flyer back up.
Okay, let Lynn do her shout out
Oh,
first.
Lynn, your shout outs. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
girl.
Well,
Lynn.
I don't really have any email. I'm a member of Saint. What's my church now? Church Without Walls. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I mean, people at Church Without Walls, please go.
yeah,
And don't forget the Sisters Network. I know we're
yes,
talking about
Yes,
get.
I was at the
I
Sisters
know we're
Network
talking.
walk. It was
Yeah, but
amazing.
I missed it.
And you
But
all saw that. We're gonna do it the next time because it was
yeah,
there had to be thousands of people
I
out there.
know we're talking about get on the bus, but the
yeah,
Yeah.
sisters, if you look on the sister network, also they actually have information for people to get mammograms testing for free or
Yes.
great.
be able to have it paid for. So there are a lot of organizations out there that can actually help you get these mammograms. Susan
Absolutely
B.
right.
O. Komen, the
Hey,
Pink Fund, all these
Yeah.
good places. I mean, there's so many funds out there that
Mhm.
we have that you can actually get help from. But get on the bus. Everybody, let's get on that bus.
Yes.
that's right.
All righty. Now, everybody, let me go ahead and let you all know the contact information. This is not a walk up event. You're going to have to call and make and register. You can call 281 464 5136. That is the Rose mobile team. You can also go to www.therose.org/mobile, MOBILE, code JMHWC. J is in Jones, M Memorial, Higher Way Church, JMHWC. That is the code to use to register. The event is May 29th from 9 o'clock a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It is not a walk-up event. You must have a registration. The deadline for registration is May 22nd. Please go ahead and call. For all of the people who are going to be coming to the event on the 29th, you're going to be able to put your name in that hat. And when you do that, you're going to actually be able to register. You're going to have a drawing. We're going to have a drawing for $100 gift card.
Okay.
And that is what Highway Health and Wellness Ministry is going to be sponsoring, that $100 gift
Okay.
card. So you are encouraged to get on the bus.
Cookie, Gisette
Yes.
Simmons, Lynn Downs. I want to thank you guys so much, my first cousins, for agreeing to come on and sit with Kim and I and tell us your story. Because your stories of triumph, and not just that, of fearlessness. You weren't afraid, and you were proactive in getting done what you needed to get done. Thank you all so much for coming on. We'll make sure that we get those flyers in the comments, and there's a barcode for you, not a barcode, but a QR code for you to scan, and all the telephone numbers are there too. Like we say every week, ladies, we can do it.
We can do
And
it.
we'll see you next
We
week.
can do it.
All
Get on the
right.
bus.
Get on that bus.
Get on the bus.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.